Hello everyone, welcome back. This is our deep stretch practice. I'm just going to use my bolster today for props, a little bit of space to move, of course, and let's get started. So we will begin today laying down. If you want to lay on something or flat on your back, Supta Baddha Konasana if you want to make a diamond shape with your legs. But find a place that you would like to begin and relax in for a few moments. Letting your eyes close, maybe wiggling around a little bit. And just a reminder to listen to your body. Move when you need to move. Adjust when you need to adjust. And just allow yourself a chance to slow down and relax. Just taking another breath or two. Starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And eventually bringing your feet to your mat with your knees bent. If you are laying on top of something, you can take it out. We'll lay flat on our backs if you aren't already. You might start to sway the knees or just be still. And then we will be taking our left hand, the palm facing down to the ground, sliding it underneath our back. Maybe it's just your fingertips, maybe it's your whole hand, just kind of under the side of your back. So your elbow is pointing out, your palm is facing down. You might be spreading your fingers wide. And then you can stay here with your knees pointing up. Or if you want more for your left shoulder and arm, you can let your knees tip over towards the left side. You might start to feel a twist here as your knees fall to the left and your shoulders stay down. If you want a little bit more on the left shoulder, a little less twist, You might start to lift your right shoulder and arm up and roll to your left side a little bit more, only if you want to, if your shoulder wants to. If you did lift your right shoulder, start to bring it back down. And if your knees are also tipping to the left side, lift them up slowly. And once you're flat on your back again, you can take your left hand out from under you. Maybe place it on your belly or rest your arm at your side, but just relax your left arm and shoulder completely. Maybe a gentle sway through the knees or stillness. When you are ready to take your right hand and turn your palm to face down and slide your hand under your back, maybe spreading the fingers out wide too. You can stay here. You can start to let your knees tip over towards the right side. Maybe feeling the twist as you keep your left shoulder down. Maybe going a little further into the right arm and shoulder as you lift your left side up, rolling onto your right side more. Whatever feels good on your body. If you do have your left shoulder lifted, gently bring it back. The knees can follow. And then eventually, your hand can come out as well. Maybe your hands rest on your belly, arms at your sides. Just take a moment though to notice what you feel through your arms, your shoulders, your spine. And then when you're feeling good to come up, you can either roll to one side or rock yourself forwards. We are going to be moving into a quad stretch. So you have options. You can roll onto your right side. Hug your left heel towards your glute. You could use the floor to hold the foot beside the hip. Seated here. You might bring your pillow behind you and lay on it. But you can decide how far you go. Onto the right side, to a seated position, or laying down. Or just hugging or encouraging the left heel towards the glute or the hip. And then relaxing as much as possible. Let's take just another breath on this side. And then we'll start to switch. But if you do want to just take a moment before going to the other side, maybe you'll hug your knees, sway the legs, and find your way to the other side, maybe onto the left side. Hold your foot or use the floor. You can stay seated, leaning back, maybe laying down on a pillow or flat on your back even. But encouraging your right heel towards your glute in some way that feels good for you. And breathing softly. Take another breath. And then you can start to move. Let your legs come out in front of you. Might feel good to bring a little bit of length into them. And then we're going to make our way into a wide straddle. If you've got a pillow, you might want it in front. Bring your legs out as wide as they want to go. Maybe pointing the toes up, maybe bringing a little bend into the knees too. If your knees are okay with you relaxing through the ankles, you definitely can. But any discomfort there, especially through the back of the knees, point the toes up, keep them bent a little bit. And inhale as you bring some length into your spine. You can stay sitting nice and tall, hands where you want your hands to be. You might end up tipping forward. If you are folding, let an inhale lift you again. We can bring our legs together. Help them come together. And give your knees a nice squeeze. Maybe a gentle rock, side to side. And then finding your way into tabletop. Let's go back into our shoulders. So 2 options. You can reach your left arm out in front, slide your right arm under your chest, and come straight down. Maybe you want your pillow underneath your chest and your arm. If you want to add more of a twist into this, we'll try to bring our right shoulder in line with the left knee or as close to the left knee as we can get it. So you might actually sit back on your heels first and then try to bring that right arm down, the shoulder towards that left knee. Lift the hips so that the shoulder touches down. Rest your head, and then maybe starting to push into the left fingertips a little. Maybe walking your hand back towards the top of your mat to continue to open the chest to the left. Maybe you're able to gaze above you, but feeling more of a twist and also that right arm and shoulder. And wherever you happen to be, let your left hand and an inhale push and lift you all the way up and back into tabletop. Or if you want to take a seat on the heels, just take the weight out of the arms and the shoulders for a moment. Maybe a shoulder roll. Bringing length back into the spine. And when you're ready to switch sides, either coming back into tabletop, reaching the right arm forwards, left under the chest, coming straight down, or maybe you will take a seat on your heels again, trying to bring that left shoulder as close to the right knee as you can get it. And then lifting the hips. And gently pushing into the right fingertips, trying to open the chest towards the right side. Feel free to move your right hand. Keep pushing into the fingertips. And then using your right hand and an inhale to lift you all the way back up into tabletop or back to taking a seat on the heels. But just relax and notice what you feel. If you would like to come into child's pose for a moment, you might bring your knees out wide and rest your forehead down. But just a moment to observe. And then when you do feel ready to move again, to lift up, we'll cross our ankles, bring our legs out in front. A moment to hug your knees, maybe sway. We can lay down on our backs. You might be hugging your knees towards your chest. A gentle sway side to side. And then eventually finding your way into Shavasana. If you wanted to add something under your knees. Sometimes these slow practices go by incredibly fast. Sometimes it's the opposite. Find some stillness throughout your body once again. I will leave you here. Stay as long as you have time for. I look forward to our evening practice tomorrow. And until then, namaste.